Righty. Do you want to go do Mount Yale today? Do you want to go do a 14er? Weather was looking really good this day, so we were able to leave a little later. We left at 6 a.m. Hey, Lily, do you want to go do Mount Yale? No. This was the parking lot at 9 a.m. on a Monday. We got the very last spot. I think there's room for about 50 cars here, which is nice, but there are other trails here besides Mount Yale, so it's a little busy. We decided to do the standard route, which is the southwest slopes, and it starts at the Denny Creek trailhead, which is right off of Cottonwood Pass in Buena Vista. And this route is class 2. It's about 9.75 miles round trip with 4,300 feet of elevation. Here's the beginning of the trail. You start out walking alongside this creek, and you're walking through a forest of aspens and pine trees. This was actually really pretty, and as you just saw, there were a lot of boulders just in the ground on the trail. This is kind of the theme for the whole hike. You can see right here again too, like it is a dirt trail, but there's just so many rocks everywhere. Right here's the only intersection you have to watch for. The sign makes it very obvious to go right for Mount Yale. And then to the left are those other trails I was talking about. So I think that's why the parking lot was so busy. I think people fish up those other trails because I saw a lot of people with fishing poles.
What would that be over there? Girls.
Again with the trail of boulders. I will say the incline on this felt very gradual. I feel like on some 14ers you get a ton of incline in one spot and then other spots not so much. It felt pretty spread out here. Like there weren't many points where I was freaking dying because it was so steep. I mean, of course, as you get closer to the top, yes, that happens, but just throughout the trail it felt pretty gradual. I really liked this trail in general just because I felt like the views were so diverse. There were a lot of different open fields where you could look out the mountains in the distance.
Less smoky over here.
And here we are finally about to break tree line.
I like these meadows up here.
At this point, it got pretty rocky again. We had a little reprieve for a bit, but here you're basically just climbing up giant rocks as steps. We're getting there. Finally, from this point, we could see our destination in the distance. Right there is Yale.
Nope. 3 passes.
And then here we are at the final approach. We are headed towards the saddle, and then from there it is basically straight rock climbing. be fooled right here. You see that peak up there? That is not Yale. You're going behind it. It's not far behind it, but that is a false summit. Okay, from this point on, I want to talk about how this is not dog friendly. Now, with class 2s, typically there isn't like rock scrambling, but obviously you can see what we're doing here. There were multiple points where we had to put our hands down on rocks and physically scramble or climb up something. We thought maybe we messed up and just like picked a bad line and didn't follow the proper trail, but on our way down, we tried to reassess from the top and we ended up feeling the same on the way down. So I don't think we did anything wrong. I just think this is not a dog-friendly trail. Our dogs are very experienced with this type of stuff. You can see them hopping around. They're really good at figuring out how to navigate and like being smart and safe about it. But still, you can see Michael here had to help Heidi. We had to huck them up a few boulders a few different times. And if our dogs were not agile, strong, healthy, and just, again, experienced in this kind of stuff, I would not have taken them on this trail if I would have known what this was like. Again, ours ended up being fine. We had to help them out a little bit, but if your dog isn't used to this stuff, I would not recommend taking them because one wrong step or slip and they're kind of tumbling down the mountain a little bit. Anyway, that's my disclaimer, my PSA. Here we are at the top of the mountain. We took a break, obviously sat up here for a while, ate some snacks. The dogs got some snacks. And per usual, the 360 views are always insane.
Oh, this rock is so warm. Check it out.
You can stand right here and then come up, Heidi. Heidi.
There you go.
Stay. Another thing I loved about this mountain was that the downhill was not miserable. We've done a couple 14ers this year where the downhill was just absolutely miserable. Like I'm talking, we were so sore the next day. Our knees hurt, our feet hurt, our toes hurt. Our legs were like giving out on us going down. And that was absolutely not the case on this mountain. Again, kind of what I said on the way up, the gain feels pretty gradual. So of course it's going to feel that way on the way down as well. And as far as the trail being like bouldery and rocky, I personally love that. I feel like it makes it a little more fun and interactive versus just walking on a plain dirt trail. I don't know, call me crazy. I know a lot of people don't like that, but I do. Overall, we both really, really loved this one. The scenery was just gorgeous. There was a variety of landscapes, and the trail was just more interactive and not a boring straight dirt trail. Then afterwards, we went into town to Buena Viking and had lunch there. This is our new favorite spot. If you're ever in Buena Vista, you gotta go there. And here we are, zonked out on the drive home. If you have any questions about the mountain, feel free to comment below.
I don't know, man. Baiting